Yeah, okay, how do you handle scope creep during product backlog refinement? And scope creep happens. In the conversation, you realise there's more potential in there and you start exploring it. To be honest, that's the purpose of refinement, is we're trying to understand the problem. That includes what it is and what it isn't. So it's not scope creep yet. Okay? In refinement, you're going to be talking about things, and you're going to realise there's opportunities. Are they core to the value that you're talking about? Are they meeting the need, the opportunity, solving the problem that's put in front of you? If they're not, they have potential to be scope creep. Okay? And if you don't break that item out, that potential becomes very real in the sprint. But actually, there's a very simple answer. Break it out. It's not core to the value, therefore it's potentially extra. And therefore, potentially, you don't need to do it. Break that item down a bit. So you say, okay, we can see this, but we could do these little add-ons. Great. A few items go in the backlog to acknowledge we could do those add-ons. In they go. And when it's their turn, they'll come into refinement themselves. But actually, in refinement, you're never really going to have scope creep. You're going to have understanding of where that boundary is. Okay? The purpose of refinement at the end of the day is for the team to share understanding about what it is they're working on. So you've got a product owner explaining, this is what I want and why it matters to me. You've got a team, in truth, how are we going to solve this? That is going on in their heads, but they're asking questions about the what and the why. They're clarifying their information of what the actual problem is in front of them, what the opportunity is. Not how to solve it, but what it is. Truly understanding. And in that process, it's highly, highly likely that new ideas are going to pop up. Some are going to be great. Some are going to go further up the backlog than the item you're talking about. Some not so great and are going to be discarded. Some are going to be good, but not for now. That's not scope creep. That's just exploring a space and discovering some things you hadn't come across before, recognizing it, writing them down as separate product backlog items and putting them on the backlog. Okay? And then let refinement and your whole process take over. It will deal with it naturally. Scope creep happens really when you don't do that and you're not disciplined about it, and you come into the sprint and you think, oh, well, we talked about that and we could do that and all we could and all we could. And you're doing that, the developers are doing that, the product owner's doing that. Somebody is having that ongoing conversation because they didn't have the discipline to say, when it popped up, that sounds like an interesting idea, but it doesn't deliver the core value. We're really getting back to Agile principles here. What's the simplest thing you can do? Keep that up. Scope creep actually isn't an issue at all. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.